Hey there, I'm going to give you a breakdown on what I found when I started digging and looking at the actual numbers that the American Red Cross reported on their 990 tax filing for fiscal year 2016. It is available on their website, redcross.org, under publications for 2016. So any of these numbers, if you question them, please feel free to print it as I did, the entire thing, and check for yourself. So here we go. I'm going to try to do this quickly. Total revenue that they claim to have brought in for that year, $2.6 billion. You can see the breakdown. Program services is their largest, 72%, $1.8 billion. Now most of that is $1.7 billion brought in by my biomedical product services. That would be the blood business, okay? Another $132 million for other products and services. Then contributions of $637 million. Then you have investment income of $82 million and other revenue of $19 million. Now, this is not what is alarming. We're going to look at how they spend your money. So come right down here to total expenses for fiscal year 2016 was also $2.6 billion, but it is a little higher than what they took in. On the first page of their 990 form, they will tell you on a line item all by itself, salaries, other compensation, benefit employees, $1.4 billion with a B. That's 53% of their expenses and 54% of their revenue. That number does not include two other sources of employment that they also pay for. One is Teletech Services Corp. Out of Colorado for call center workers, and another goes to Adecco Employment Services, which is another $11.2 million. Okay, so when you add that to this, which by the way, those are considered paid independent contractors on their tax form, that is a total of employment of 53.6% of the expenses and 54.9% of the revenue, $1.437 billion. Most businesses never ever try to go over 30% of their revenue good to go towards payroll. Now, this is also very interesting. The total expenses for domestic disaster services, they claim they spent $308 million with an M directly on domestic disaster services. That's only 11.5% of their expenses and 12% of their revenue. If you want to get nitpicky and say, well, they're trying to spend specifically the contributions to the disaster areas, well, that's only 48% of the income and revenue they brought in as contributions. Okay, so you're still not getting the 90% that they claim per dollar goes directly to people in the disaster areas. Okay, this $308 million does also include salaries of upper management over certain divisions if it is involved with disaster services. So this number is not what exactly went to disaster services. This number also includes things like fundraising, advertising, travel, and some people's salaries. So again, where's the 90% they claim goes per dollar to the disaster areas? So right down here, you're also going to see more money they paid out, fees for services of non-employees. That includes legal, accounting, management, lobbying, and other. That's another $226 million, another 8% of expenses, and another 9% of revenue. So the total paid out to administrative and human overhead comes up to be $1.6 billion. Again, they only spent $308 million on domestic disaster per their own numbers. So the total amount spent out on overhead and employment would be 62% of all their expenses and 63.5% of their entire revenue for the year 2016. If you doubt any of these numbers, please feel free to do your own research. If in fact you can prove that these numbers are wrong, please let me know in the comment section, because I'm sure the IRS would find that interesting as well, as these are the actual numbers reported on their own tax forms. If you've got any other questions or stuff you'd like me to take a look at while I have this printed out, let me know. Thank you.